this week's vlog. It is Thursday the 28th. I just wrapped up last week's vlog. I need to edit. God, I need to edit. I need to edit so much stuff. My bad. I really need to edit so much stuff. It's fine. Where's my... Here it is. Today, the plan... Yes, the plan today is to get is to start and finish this book called Craft by an author. I don't remember her name right now, but the plan is to finish that. It is a short story collection of horror, so I'm excited to read it. I think it'll be good, and it's only a 5-hour long audiobook, so definitely should be able to finish that today. I don't have a ton of meetings. I just have a lot of work to catch up on because I was out of work yesterday for doctor's appointments. I also plan to get 50% into the Dream Hotel. This has been recommended to me by 2 people, my mom and Landis, which is wild. Those are 2 very different people, so okay, sure, I'll pick it up. It is essentially about where your risk of committing a crime puts you into a facility for a little while. There's been anime and all kinds of stuff about this. There's been all kinds of stuff about this, so yeah, no. I am excited to continue reading it. I got about 20% into it last night, so getting 50% into it today shouldn't be super difficult. So yeah, and then I only have one more book really on my TBR for the month. So I need to just work on scripting my wrap up and getting that ready. There's another video that I want to script and get ready, which would be walking through like my current notebook and planner system, because it has changed pretty drastically, going from using the Tabanichi system to using the rings. So I do want to talk about that at some point. I'd like to film that video at some point. But yeah, my back is feeling a bit better than it did last week, but not 100%. We are getting there. And I think that that's it. Quick update. I'm gonna eat breakfast so that I can get going on the day. Okay, thanks, bye. Hi, it is Friday the 29th. You wanna know something fucked up? I edited all of last week's vlog. First off, I found out that I did not finish editing week before last vlog. Finished that, uploaded it, sweet. Edited last week's vlog almost completely. It was just missing the final update. It was ready. Deleted the edited footage like before I put it all together, because I will edit one day, have that out, edit another day, have that out, and then I put it all together at the end. It didn't export correctly, so it had 10 seconds of the video for some reason. So I really have to stop deleting footage before, and no, it's not my recently deleted. Nobody say that to me, because it's not. I really have to stop doing that before I check the footage that I have exported, because this is not the first time this has happened to me. So I need to edit last week's vlog. Anyway, hi, how you doing? It's Friday. Yesterday I read Craft, which was a short story collection. 3-star read. That's generally the rating that I give to short story collections, though, because it's hard to rate a collection of stories as an individual story, right? I did enjoy it, though. I didn't not enjoy it, you know? I thought the writing was solid. I thought the stories were interesting. Some of them were better than others. It is what it is. There's also at the end of each chapter this underlying story of the writer, because this is Craft stories I wrote for the devil. And so this underlying story of the writer itself who's writing these stories for the devil, and their relationship and their dynamic. And I thought that was a really interesting way to tie everything in to one overarching story instead of just a collection of short stories. I don't know that I've seen that done before, or if I have, I don't remember it. And so I thought that was I thought that was cool. It was really interesting. Then I got 78% into the Dream Hotel by Leio. I'm enjoying it. It's really interesting. The concept of being placed in a holding area, essentially, for a crime you might commit but haven't committed is interesting. There was a section where it was oh, this is literally just an experiment. This is a test. They haven't even figured this out yet. I thought that was also kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how this is going to go in the end. Lots of conversations about like being difficult and being a difficult woman and being a difficult person of color, and like, I don't know, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I was gonna finish it last night, but then I ended up just falling asleep, so I did not finish it. But my plan for today, I'm gonna try to finish The Dream Hotel. I'm also going to be starting and finishing Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. She wrote the Truly Devious series. Did I hate the last like 2 books of Truly Devious or whatever the 4? Maybe there was just one more after the original trilogy. Yes, I hated it, but I'm excited to see how Death at Morning House goes, and maybe it will be better, you know? I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I'm excited to start and finish that. And then I might start How to Survive a Horror Story by, hopefully editing me just puts Mallory Arnold. I'll be reading that with my eyes, but I might read that over the weekend and finish it, so we will definitely see. I'm also going to try to script my wrap up because I will be finishing all but one of the books that I'm in the middle of for the month. So I'm going to try to script my wrap up so that I can go ahead and film it today as well if I've got the spoons. That's what I would like to do. Script that, film that. It's mostly scripted, but there's just some stats that I need to update on it. And then I also need to script my like planner video, what I'm doing with my planners, my notebooks and stuff. I would like to script that and then maybe film it. I haven't decided if I'm going to film it today or not, but I have to edit last week's vlog. Either way, that has to get done. So big things today, like for mouse reads specifically, is finish those books that I was talking about, script wrap up, film wrap up. In between all of that, edit the vlog and upload it that I fucked up. Either edit and upload my wrap up, or save that for Monday because that can be saved for Monday. And then I have CLEARURSHT stuff that I really have to get done next week because I am so behind because of all the health stuff that's been going on. Pregnancy is insane. Feeling better. Been feeling better the last few days, but yeah, pregnancy is its own trip. But that's it. I am going to get to reading The Dream Hotel and then re-editing all of the videos. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, thanks, bye. Tuesday, the 2nd. Yesterday was a holiday, which is why I didn't update, because I don't update on days I have off. What's happening today? Well, over the weekend, let's talk about the weekend first. Ozzy and David moved, so that's really exciting. And we went and saw the Cavello Cup for roller derby, and that was a ton of fun. I'm really glad we went. It was a ton of fun. Like I said, it was one of the rowdiest games I've seen in a long time, but it was still really fun. We did have to, essentially, we were in these like little, I guess like high school football type stadium seats, so they didn't go very far up, which is strange because we've been to this venue before to watch roller derby and we're in regular seats. And for some reason on our side, a bunch of people just opted to stand in front of those bleachers, and so we couldn't see. Maybe editing me will show you like what we could see. And even if we stood on the bleachers, we still couldn't see because I'm not a very tall person. And some of us need to sit for various health reasons. So it was a little bit frustrating. So I went and found someone and was like, hi, is there anything we can do? Because we literally can't see and we have to sit. So like, is there anything we can do? So we did manage to, they got us a seat like close to the VIP section, and that was great. It was not a problem. That game was so crowded. I've never seen a roller derby game be that crowded. It was so good though. We had so much fun. I also, I think that's really all that we did. A lot of swimming also yesterday. That was 10 out of 10, super fun. Over the weekend, I didn't do a ton of reading. I read How to Survive a Horror Story. That's pretty much it. I will be today. I'm going to be starting Damned If You Do, which will be my first pick of Sapphic September. My plan today is to get 50% into that, and then I also want to get about 25 to 50% into How to Survive a Horror Story because I started it and I would like pick it up and read some of it over the weekend, but I just didn't finish it. I also need to edit my wrap-up for last month, and I need to edit the vlog for this week, and that kind of thing. Like I need to turn on my coffee. I need to do those things. Today I'm going to go get blood work done. Gross. But also it means I'm going to get my NIPT test done, which I think I talked about in another vlog. It essentially will tell us like if there's any potential for chromosome abnormalities and then also the gender. I won't know the results of that for about 2 weeks, so not in this vlog, generally. Some people will find out in like 4 days. I don't think I'm going to be that lucky. So yeah, that's, what are we doing? He's been laying super chill this whole morning, and then I start talking and he's doing this. So anyway, I do need to finish the very last panel for the September book blanket, or the August book blanket, and then I need to sew all of that together, and then I need to start the September book blanket. I definitely fell off the wagon. I think working on the other thing took me like out of working on the book blanket, and then I just wasn't feeling very good for a while, so yeah, that's where we're at. But I'm gonna go because I have a fuck ton of editing once again, and then I also want to get 50% into Damned If You Do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, thanks, bye. Happy Wednesday the 3rd. How we doing, gang? I need to go put clothes in the dryer. I just thought about that. How we doing, gang? What did I do yesterday? Reading wise, let's talk about that. I did get 52% into Damned If You Do. I'm having a great time. This is a good book. I hate the audiobook reader. Holy fuck. The way that the audiobook reader, and maybe it's because I'm listening to it at a higher speed, but the way that the audiobook reader is doing some of these teenage boys' voices is fucking horrible. It's horrendous. Super bad. Do not enjoy it. Yeah, it's rough out here, folks. Not a good time. But besides that, the story is really interesting. I'm enjoying the story a lot. I find myself switching to ebook reading, mostly because I just genuinely find the reader a little bit insufferable. But I am enjoying the story. I think the story is really interesting. How to Survive a Horror Story is the other book that I'm reading. And I am also enjoying that. I got 27% into it pretty quickly yesterday and almost continued to read it, but then I had to go get 8 vials of blood drawn, and I was very tired after that, so I did not continue to read. I honestly would have continued to read either one of these books if I had not been so exhausted. However, I was very exhausted. Sorry, I'm having a thought. My body feels weird. Something is going on. Not in like a super bad way, but my body feels weird. Something's happening. Not in a bad way. My body is just like, But that's kind of constant with pregnancy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm constantly looking at my body and being like, are you supposed to be doing that? My baby can now hear. That's crazy. Just vibrations, but you can now hear. So if I listen to any of Carly's DJ sets, the bass, my baby would be able to hear it. That's crazy. I'm gonna tell Carly that. I don't know why I told you guys that. I need to tell Carly that. I think Carly would appreciate that. Sorry, this isn't my baby update video, although I am gonna film the very last update to that today, after I finish filming this, edit it, put it together, upload it, and then I will have up to mid-September done. And then this week I plan to film and edit my planner video, so that you guys can see how I do my planning. I have it scripted, I just need to film and edit it, etc. For my reading plan today, let's talk about that. I do plan to finish Damned If You Do. And that will be my first book for September. Woohoo! And then I also plan to get 50% into the horror story book. I need to edit this, and then it will be ready. And then I need to, ready for Thursday, I need to make sure I have enough B-roll for my intro, because I haven't for a while. That kind of thing is what I need to work on. And then I also need to go, it's literally September 3rd, and I'm like, I need to figure out my October TBR. I actually have it half planned already, so that's crazy. But I need to sort that out a little bit more. For the book blanket, I started sewing it together, and I have the first couple of 3 out of 5 sewn together. I'm going to do the next 2 today, and then I will do the top and bottom, and then I will sew the top and bottom to the rest of the book blanket. That's the plan. Will I manage it? Who knows? But that's currently the plan. And yeah, that should be it. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, thanks. Bye. Which means I'm gonna close out the vlog. So let's talk about what I read, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna scram. Okay. I finished reading Damned If You Do, and by Alex Ronsos, the first book that I've read for Sapphic September, and it was my AAPI author pick, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Actually enjoyed it a lot. I hated the audiobook reader, which is unusual. I'm not particularly picky about audiobook readers. At least that's what I thought. maybe I am picky. I don't know. But I did not like the audiobook reader. I felt like I just didn't like it. The voices that she was doing for the people was rough. We're plugging you in. Sorry, weird angle, I know. Then I got 50% into How to Survive, a horror story. And yeah, I actually got 75% into that because I decided to read it some last night before going to bed. I am really enjoying that. Not, like, it shouldn't be surprising to me that I'm enjoying it. It's a horror book, but I'm finding it very interesting. It's essentially these authors are stuck in another author's home because the author has died and trapped them in this house with these riddles they have to solve, and the riddles are that, like, these things that they did that wronged him, but it turns out that, like, the stories are not quite correct, as it were. So like, that the original author was just revising the actual stories of what happened. So I thought that was interesting. I am enjoying it so far. What else? That's it. That's all that I read. I did finish putting together the book blanket, so I'm going to go ahead and start September's. So that's cool. Means that I'm going to catch back up to my trying to do at least one panel a week. So I should be able to get that done tomorrow, which will, like I said, put me back to my finishing one a week. So cool. That's the end of this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the B-roll I actually managed to get this time, because I have been not doing great with remembering that. Wonder why my memory's been trash, gang. Yeah. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be doing the rest of this week and stuff in next week's vlog, so I will talk to you guys later. Okay, thanks, bye.